So anyhow, several places we've had chicken. You don't like it that hot.
Yes, but you do.
So I'm going to engineer this for you tonight. It's very warm. Now, if you ate the sauce itself, you think this is really warm. Once you cook it on the chicken, it really absorbs and you don't get that really hot thing.
Okay,
I know,
whatever.
I'm being careful for
Okay.
you. First of all, I have found lately that when I smoke my chicken, even a full chicken on the smoker, if you do a salt brine ahead of time, it does not dry out. If you use enough salt in your chicken, then that's going to keep it nice and moist on the smoker. And a lot of people will spatchcock that bird to open up a little bit, so that'll work better on the smoker. Not too long ago, we wanted to have a chicken sandwich that's kind of like somebody else does out there that's a famous chicken maker. And we came pretty close. It had a dill pickle brine. Now, even if you don't like dill pickle, the flavor of a dill pickle brine or dill pickle juice makes chicken wonderful.
Yes, it does.
Then I'm going to take it, salt and pepper it, and think about the size you want for a sandwich. This beautiful piece of chicken, which has a little green tint to it, not because it's spoiled, because it's
Pickle juice?
been in pickle juice. Now I've already got this mixed up, but I'm going to show you what I got over here. I got 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, if you're watching us on the show and we don't say it's self-rising, usually we're always using all-purpose. 1.5 cups. Next, we're going to use 1/4 cup of cornstarch. What happens when you use cornstarch with your flour when you're frying chicken?
Nice and crispy.
Crispy. And next, we're going to take some dry rub. You can use Cajun seasoning. We're using our dry rub here. We're going to use 3 tablespoons. I want to season it up. If you want to, if you really want to bump everything up, you can put some cayenne pepper in your flour itself. If you want to
Let's keep it normal.
keep things going, you can in your seasoned flour. Now, I've got 3 tablespoons, but you can put a little cayenne pepper, some garlic, chili powder, whatever you want to do. In this one, I put just a little bit of cayenne.
Thank you.
Just a tiny bit. And again, this is just for the batter. So one thing that I have been doing here lately is using olive oil to deep fry. And I've used it over and over again because I have not nearly gotten anywhere close to the smoke point. If you remember, and I've said this a million times, but if you talk about the old days and when Grandma was cooking her fried chicken, she didn't throw it in a vat of 400-degree oil and,
Right.
and cook it for, 3 minutes on each side. She put it in there and let it slow cook.
On her stove, slow.
On her stove, slow. And a lot of times, remember the electric skillets that were so popular in
Yes.
the 50s and 60s? All right, so I'm going to take just flour to begin with, into some buttermilk and egg. Now, something we really need to do here, you need to make sure that every square inch, you don't want any dry spots, is covered on here, because we want every square inch of this to have wonderful flaky goodness. Now we're going to go into the seasoned batter. And another thing that we want to do here is no empty spots. Make sure that you have every place covered. Now here's the part that's going to shock you. On a lot of shows, they're going to say, have your oil at 375. 3 minutes on each side, 4 minutes on each side, whatever. No, that's not what we're going to do. We're staying way away from the smoke point, and we're going to let this cook. And it's going to cook fast enough. This piece of chicken, as thin as it is, if we're cooking this at about 275, yep, that's what we said, 275. And wait till you see how beautiful this comes out. If we're cooking this at 275, it's going to take it about 17 minutes. And it's not going crazy. There's not oil flying everywhere. You can see what happens. We are right now at about 273. I'm going to dip that in there and just let it fall. You see that's turning over nicely.
Looks good.
In a minute, I'm going to make sure that doesn't stick to the bottom. I'm going to loosen that up and let that float up. This chicken will almost tell you when it's done. It'll have a golden brown look. The severity of the oil movement through the chicken will lighten. You'll see less bubbles coming. It'll kind of float up.
It says eat me, eat me.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. That's what it says. I heard it.
I heard it too.
So I'm going to loosen that up. I'm going to make sure that floats up. All right, let's check this out over here. Now look at that. It's all staying together. Everything's staying on there. It's not frying so rapidly that everything's coming apart.
Looks good.
And when it's done, and I think I'll let this go for around 17 minutes max, but if you crank your oil up too much, how many times have you even gone out to eat and got some chicken that they've thrown in there? It's really done on the outside and not so much on the inside.
Right.
Nobody wants that.
Right.
So that's going on in the background. I guess we could go ahead and start our Nashville sauce. Now, when I've had good Nashville sauce,
It's super hot.
Nashville hot sauce, it's hot, but when you see your chicken, you know it's got a little oily thing going on. And what I'm trying to do is get that wonderful taste, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of brown sugar. But what do you think the actual base of the sauce is?
What is the actual base? The
Some
olive
of your
oil.
reserve oil. In this case, we don't feel nearly as bad about it because it's olive oil, and I'm keeping that so below the smoke point that we still retain the properties of olive oil that are good for you.
You're so smart.
I'm so lucky because I found this out a while back, and look at the color, the taste. What do you think about the taste of anything fried in olive oil?
Delish.
It
always.
is delish. This is rather decadent. We don't eat like this every day, but today we're gonna.
That's right.
You can't stop us.
We're out of control.
And there you have it. So we're going to come up with about a 1/4 cup. Might be a little over. Remember, this is olive oil.
You know what I mean?
Olive oil. So you can't feel too bad about
That's
that.
right. You can't.
Hand me the most important ingredient. When you think about Nashville chicken, I'm not going to smell it.
Yeah.
know what it
Make
smells
you
like.
sneeze.
Normally, if it wasn't for you, Kelly can handle some heat. I would
The whole bottle.
probably put 3.5 for you tonight.
Yes.
I'm going to put,
How
let me
much?
see that. I'm going to probably go, this is a tablespoon. I'm going to probably go, now hear that chicken dying down in the background? You hear that?
Just getting ready. 1. Uh-oh, you're going more?
I'm going to go about 1.
That's about 2.
That's,
2?
that's about right.
All right.
Let's go a heaping teaspoon of chili powder. That's
that
what
heaping?
that's what I tasted last time I had it. Now, some Nashville chicken is just pure hot. Some of it has sweet. I like a little bit of sweet. So I'm going to say let's put 1.5 tablespoons at least brown sugar in there. Now, I want you to think about buffalo sauce. When I kept experimenting around, talking to other people who've done it, one of the most important things is
Butter.
butter and really good buffalo sauce.
That's half a stick.
That's half a stick. It may seem like a lot, but let's mix that butter up in there. We're going to take a little bit of garlic. Let's go a 1/2 teaspoon. Let's take a 1/2 tablespoon of smoked paprika. I'm kind of back on my smoked paprika kick, have you noticed?
I've noticed.
But I'm still on the fennel kick too.
You have salt? How much salt would you like?
Now we're going to go a 3/4 tablespoon of salt in here. If you have restrictions on salt, follow your doctor. And then we're going to come back with 1.5 teaspoon of my dry rub, and we're going to let that thicken up. Now you think that sounds like a lot of cayenne, but really comes together nicely. It has more of a smoky flavor. Now you get some heat, but if you put double that,
I'd be
You
on fire.
really get some
Be
heat.
on fire.
all right, so now listen. Listen how that's really died down. You hear that?
I'm gonna spend 17 minutes.
Been about 17 minutes.
Okay.
Now I want you to look at
Wow.
this.
Oh, that looks good. That's a huge, that grew, it got bigger. I think it got a bigger piece of chicken.
So now you think about a sandwich, that's about what we want for a
Wow.
sandwich. Look at that piece of, look at both sides of it.
Wow.
Have you ever seen a more perfect, beautiful piece of chicken?
No, I have not.
So as I'm tasting along here, I want a little more sweet, so I'm gonna put another 1/2 tablespoon of brown sugar into my mix.
Kill the hot a little.
It'll kill the hot, but you don't wanna kill it too much. Now this is to me a nice warm flavor. It's not overpowering, don't you agree?
I'm not gonna try it though. I mean, like out of this dish, you'd probably kill me.
Some people don't like hot stuff. And again, if you wanted to go, if you really wanted hardly any hot taste, but you wanted kind of
Yeah.
the Nashville chicken experience,
Yeah.
maybe go 1 tablespoon. And that's hardly any heat at all. Believe it or not, when you cook it down like this, it takes that heat out of it. Now again, when you look at that piece of chicken right there, look how evenly done that is all the way across.
That's perfect.
That is a beautiful piece of chicken. It's crispy, the oil has drained out, and that is gonna make a wonderful sandwich. So let's pop that in the oven on warm to keep it warm. And it's ours, so we can do what we want, right?
That's right. That's right.
Who's gonna stop us?
Nobody,
Why?
because we do what we want.
That's exactly right. It's our kitchen. We can do exactly
right.
what we want. So, to bring your
Wow.
creaminess,
Macaroni on a sandwich.
macaroni on a sandwich. I got
like
it.
that.
I made it flat, thinking ahead. so it doesn't roll on out of there. We have a smoky cheese pasta.
It's really nice and smoky.
And again, we don't eat like this every day, just every other day. And there you go. That'd make a decent sandwich.
I could eat just that.
All right, so then we come back with our beautiful piece of chicken.
Wow.
I'm so scared that it's so beautiful that I'm
You
going
won't be
to
able to
lose
eat
the picture of that in my mind forever. So what are we going to do? We're going to take a brush, coming in. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Glistening chicken.
Glistening hot chicken.
That makes sense.
Now,
The
if you,
oil.
yeah, now if you wanted to, you could just absolutely dip that in the sauce.
Please don't.
We're gonna put,
You can though.
for you, we're going to put it on one
We'll cut it in
side.
half, and you can dip.
Now, you think we got the wonderful smoky cheesy flavor on the one side. Next step is I want some sweet
Yummy pickles.
flavor, so we're going to come back with our sweet pickles. How many do we want on there? I think 5 is the perfect number. What do you
Yeah,
think? See how it's
perfect,
tapering down
perfect.
there? And then the last and final piece of the puzzle.
Oh, that's a sandwich for
Now
two.
you got to smash that down in there.
That's for
we
two.
could cut that in half.
Yeah.
And I could eat both halves.
I know you could. Yum.
You go first.
I go first? This
Yep.
is so big.
That's a big sandwich. Get your money's worth there, Miss Farmer. I'm only going to charge you $150 for that. What do you think?
That is delicious. I'm getting some hot.
You're getting some heat. You got
Yeah.
to, because but you can't go much less than.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that.
That's delicious.
Now I know you like it mild, and that's mild.
You did it so you could eat the whole sandwich.
I may have thought that. Look at that. Beautiful piece
Delish.
of chicken, and we still got the crunch on there. Even with the pickles and macaroni on the bottom, we still got that crunch.
That coating is amazing. And I like the macaroni with it. I really like the macaroni.
You know what?
That's delicious. You're gonna eat the whole thing, aren't you?
That makes me so happy.
I know it does.
That's what I was looking for the other day. Didn't quite get it. I got it today.
Yes,
The
you did.
heat is there.
It is. I feel it inside still. It's going down my throat.
When I feel just a little sweat popping up.
Yeah, I feel some sweat.
Now you could go less again. Oh, that to me, it's warm, but it's not, I'm not running out to the backyard to jump in a pool.
I might have to.
Oh, so good. You know what I suggest, Mrs. Farmer? I suggest we eat this.
Okay.
Then maybe come back later and explore the possibilities of either using a deep fryer more or possibly a summertime dessert.
That'd be good.
Either or would make me happy, but let's eat this first.
Okay.